Hello and welcome. We take you live to the President's address on the Lebanon crisis.
I wanted to speak to you this evening following the decision that was made official yesterday, a decision from the Prime Minister-designate who chose to give up on trying to form a new government. On the 4th of August, the explosion that took place in the Beirut port threw the country into a time which was similar to the end of the civil war. I would like to make special mention of the considerable strength of the Lebanese people who are angered, who are tired, who are fed up, and yet they stand resilient. And France was there and has been there ever since the beginning of the current crisis. And we showed them our sense of fraternity and care. And we will continue to do so in the coming months and years. Their strength and their willingness has been taken over control by a political sphere that cannot move forward and that is stuck. But there are a number of decisions that have been made, and we need to take stock of them. When I went to the French embassy in Lebanon, we met with a number of leaders, and those leaders said that in the coming 15 days, they would set up a government that would be able to implement a clear roadmap of reform, a series of reforms that the international community had agreed to and supported. They had a 1 and 3 month milestone commitment to uphold. And what we have seen in the past few days is just clarification of the fact that the political leading groups, the leaders of Lebanese institutions, did not wish to clearly and with resolute and with explicit terms, they chose not to uphold the promises that they made to the French community and to the international community. And it is with much sorrow that I take stock of their decision to again not act. What we see in Lebanon is partisan and individual interests that are being put before the interest of the nation. They have shown that they are willing to throw the Lebanese people into a world of chaos. And they have shown that they are unable or unwilling to support the Lebanese people. They were given 1 month to instigate reform, 1 month during which they were not able to access international aid. And all of this because they were willing to, and they were willing to put their country in danger. Given the current context, I would like to make special mention of the military forces in Lebanon who continued to ensure that the country remained somewhat stable. A prime minister was designated, respectable, honest man, who said that he was able to come to a solution given the challenging circumstances. But the people working in the shadows of the Lebanese political sphere made it impossible to actually create a government, because they wanted to focus more on protecting their own sides rather than seeking unity. They wanted to set traps for others by setting down a confessional order that was not agreed upon by all. They wanted to have ministers put in position of ministers simply because they belonged to one religious group or another, not because they had the skills necessary to do so. They wanted to have members of the government and members of the government who would be coming from certain political parties, which again was not in line with promises made. Hezbollah cannot at the same time have a ministership, but also carry out military activities They cannot be a respectable party and an active military force. And it is up to the Hezbollah to show that they respect all of the Lebanese people. And in the past few days, they have proved the exact opposite. It is with great regret that I take stock of the fact that the upper echelons of the Lebanese leaders have shown that they do not take their people seriously. None of them have been able to uphold the promises made in August and in September. They have all sought to save their own hides, to serve their own families' interests and those of their clans. They will not succeed. To everyone, I want to say that we cannot win against others. And therefore, I take note of this act of betrayal upon all parts. And I want to call on Lebanon to seek to uphold the contract that they signed with France back in September. And because they did not uphold it, there are consequences, and they will be serious consequences, and they will have a great effect on the Lebanese people. And on that, to the Lebanese people, brothers, sisters, friends, I say to you today that France will not let you go. Simply because on the 1st of September, the roadmap that was set out remains. It is the only viable roadmap forward. It is the only international, regional initiative that has been taken. It has not been taken off the table. It will uphold. And we tried to give the best conditions to the Lebanese government to do so, but they were unable to do so. Therefore, it's up to the Lebanese people to take action. Within the roadmap, there were reforms, actions that were deemed necessary for the Lebanese people. They are essential reforms, and they are the unnegotiable condition for Lebanon to have access to international financial aid, to be able to rebuild, to have a future. Second, by the end of October, as I promised, back on the 1st of September, we will organize again with the United Nations and a number of international partners a new summit, similar to the 9th of August, as a means to try and increase financial aid to support Lebanon and the Lebanese people. This will be funding to support housing, the health system, education, those services which will directly benefit the Lebanese people. And we will work with NGOs that are working in the field and other international organizations. This is what we owe to the Lebanese people. And that support needs to be unconditional. This is what I said to the United Nations and a promise I made to the United Nations on the 1st of September. We will ensure that beyond this financial aid, that we will ensure that transparency will be ever present. And we will be there to support the United Nations in their work in the part of this first phase. In the next 20 days, all the members of the International Support Group for Lebanon will meet to discuss as to what the next steps should be. Again, there was the outcome report of the investigative committee as to the exact origin of the explosion will also be made public. We'll also reiterate our commitment to help Lebanon. We are now moving into a new phase, where the risks for Lebanon and for the greater region are much greater. To the Lebanese authorities, it is up to them to decide what to do. Because we have seen everything, and we can no longer stand as passive spectators. But we will take stock of consequences as they unfold. France will remain an ally of the Lebanese people and of Lebanon. And I show my unfailing support for all Lebanese men and women. My thoughts go out to you. We constantly think of you, and we will never let you down. I will now happily answer any questions.
prendre des questions depuis Beyrouth, s'il vous plaît. Layal Saad, Al Jadid TV. Monsieur le Président, afin de sauver la face, vous dites que l'initiative
You have said
française
that the French
continue.
initiative
Mais en
is
réalité,
continuing,
nous
but in
savons très
reality,
bien
we know
qu'elle
very
agonise.
well that
Est-ce que le
it is
Hezbollah est
faltering.
le seul perturbateur
Is
ou le
Hezbollah
club
the
des anciens chefs du
only
gouvernement
problem
a aussi
here, or
joué
is
le
the
même rôle?
club of
Ou
the
tout simplement,
old
il vous
government
avère
leaders?
que cette
Are they also playing the same
trahison
role?
libanaise, comme vous l'avez
Is this
nommé,
Lebanese
ne
betrayal, as
n'est
you've
que le
called it,
résultat
the
du conflit
result of the
irano-américain dont la
Iranian-American
France
conflict?
a échoué à faire ouvrir une brèche?
And France has not
Avez-vous,
been
Monsieur le
able to
Président, le
resolve
courage de
these
dire,
problems.
voilà,
Do you
j'ai
have the
échoué,
courage
et
to
ce
say
sont
that
les
you have
perturbateurs?
failed?
Merci.
Thank you.
It can be comforting for you to hear that I call out failure when I see it, then yes. But is it the fault of the Lebanese people? No. I could easily just say, yes, it's a failure, and I'll leave it. But no, that is not the promise I made to the Lebanese people. Where does responsibility lie? Not on France. Responsibility lies in Lebanon. And this is what I said very clearly just a few moments ago, and I can say it again. Assad Hariri was wrong when he added a criteria, a confessional-based, a religious-based criteria when divvying out ministries. It was a mistake. When we think of the Sunni ministers, and we can think of many other ministries. But what I want to say is that part of the roadmap did not include a confessional system. And it was a mistake to have that in the past. Granted, certain compromise was taken from each side of the debate, and the certain lines have moved. Yes, I recognize that steps forward have been made. And they have shown that they want to come back to the original roadmap. And a part of that roadmap was that there was no religious affiliation in determining who will be which minister. Hezbollah clearly decided that nothing was to change. At every step of the way, they said, we will name and appoint our ministers. You won't choose them, even if they're Shia. No, we will name them. President Berry acknowledged that, yes, it's a Hezbollah condition. So who's deciding? Hezbollah is deciding. And that's what I understood. And I understood that Amal and Hezbollah, as we have seen in the past few days, they have one objective, to make no form of compromise. And they will clearly say that, yes, there is going to be reform and there is going to be this and that, but they are deciding. And will it be sustainable change? Time will tell. And to answer your question, the failure lies in their hands. It is not my failure. I did as much as I could. But I'm not going to take responsibility for the cynical decisions made by others. And look, I'm sorry that I couldn't solve a problem between Iran and the United States. It's been going on for decades. Sure, if you want me to take responsibility for that, sure. I tried. But that being said, do we need to give up all hope? Do I need to tell the Lebanese people that we have failed? And what does that mean for tomorrow? What does that mean for the future? I want to be perfectly clear with you. The Lebanese political powers did not take true stock. They did not take stock of what was going to happen after the 4th of August. They did not take true understanding of the extent of the rage and fury of the Lebanese people. Some, they wanted to push things off back to a later political date by looking to the United States. But that was a mistake, because every day that passes is just one step closer to protests in the street. And all of the criticism that I'm making of the political class holds. I am holding responsibility. The Lebanese politicians, in particular President Aoun, it is up to them in the coming hours to take the initiative, and I hope that with the other political representatives that they will be able to come to a decent outcome. But we have seen what has happened with the current political system. They cannot bring about reform. And we've seen it over the past few months. But what we need to have is reform in this country. And we need to have people to be able to move forward. And our great hope is that in the coming days and weeks, we'll be able to move forward on that basis. But, again, we've had a first attempt which has been a failure, and that first attempt was brought forward by Mustafa Adib. It was a failure.
Question from Zora from France 24.
Good evening, Mr. President. The strategy of France, backing a specially formed government, has failed. Are you thinking of imposing stronger measures, such as sanctions against Lebanese officials in the next few months?
If you would like to finish your question, I can answer it properly.
Well, we know that there is the possibility of imposing sanctions on different political leaders of different Lebanese parties. Are you thinking of doing this today?
Nothing is out of the question. As I said a couple of weeks ago, is that the first solution to go in case of this loggerhead situation we're in? No. So we are at a loggerhead. Sanctions won't help. And France can't bring in sanctions that would help the situation. Because ultimately it would affect the Lebanese people, so I don't want to sanction them. It's not useful. What is useful is to say that there are no other proposals coming to the table. So what are our options now? Can we come up with a government without the Shia? That was a proposal that was brought to the table. It's not realistic. Because the Lebanese leading parties, they are fearful of what would happen if the Shia were not part of it, if Hezbollah was not allowed into the government. Other option? I call on the French army to intervene. What would the UN do? No, they wouldn't provide support. So it's not a viable solution. Second, maybe we find a political solution where we bring forward all the current leaders. They're going to bring forward just their mates who are off in the woodworks to come and take on a ministry. Is that going to work? No, we've seen it in the past. So what is going to happen, and I seriously hope it won't happen, is that we're going to end up in more protracted crisis in the region. People are going to try and regroup and group together parties, and they're going to try and group together, and they're going to stand behind a general roadmap, and they're going to try and progress forward. But I think the only progress forward is through the roadmap that was decided upon back in September. It is the only roadmap that is going to help bring the reforms that are so needed for the Lebanese people. Because if we go on as we are currently going, then we run the risk of future civil war. Where we are now, sanctions are not the way forward. And that is the current situation. However, in the future, maybe things will change and we will talk with other parties to see whether sanctions are possible. But currently speaking, no, we need political reform.
Question from Lebanon. Good evening, Mr. President. I'm Joël Kozai from MTV. There's a devastating explosion, unprecedented economic crisis, hyperinflation, Lebanese people who are fleeing the country on makeshift rafts. But your measures have not pushed the government to form a government. So will we have to wait for elections, for the American presidential elections and negotiations with Iran to be able to get out of this situation? And secondly, if you do impose sanctions, can you, for example, freeze the bank accounts of political leaders and give back to the Lebanese people the money that was pillaged from Lebanon?
On that second point, it's a very drawn-out process and needs to be done on a case-by-case basis. It is not one that I clearly envisage in the short term. It's not the most useful mechanism at our disposal. To be able to give back to the Lebanese people what they rightfully can hope to and the money that is rightfully theirs, the banking audit, the audit of all financial institutions and the measures that will follow is the guaranteed best tool out there. And this is what we need to focus on. In terms of the first point that you raised, I understand and I hear you. I can only feel great shame and sorrow when I think of your leading parties.
Bruno du Figaro.
A question from the Figaro. Can there be a new government in Lebanon without a new system of sharing power that could be put in place by regional actors such as Saudi Arabia, Iran, which probably contributed to hardening Hezbollah's position, and also with the help of other international actors such as the United States, who at first seemed to be working hand in hand with you, but then imposed sanctions which probably did not make your mission any easier?
First off, here, where we are currently working, we are working under the framework of the Taif agreements. And it was something which was set up for the Sunni but has been taken over by the Shia. Now I'm being very... I'm summarizing the situation very briefly here. What I would like to say is that I would dare say that the situation is a bit too late, and that is why we shouldn't change the plan that we're working with here. When I was at the French embassy just a few months ago, I spoke of all of the reforms that we needed to see. And the thing is, time is working against us. We don't have months or years ahead of us to try and reform the situation. Therefore, we need to try and build off what we already have, existing agreements. And with that, try and build some form of meaningful change, meaningful reform. Because the Taif agreements, in them, there's nothing that says that each party, each political party is to have their own section of government and of power. There's nothing which says that. There's nothing in those agreements that says that we can work against reform. There's nothing in there which we can't work with. And the built-in corruption that is there, well, everyone has profited from it. And the confessional divide, well, that's something that Hezbollah is now defending. And as you know, on two clear occasions, I brought them to the negotiating table as a political power, but the current system doesn't work. It has stalled. And it is bringing a country and the people of that country to the ground. So from a domestic point of view, in the short term, there is no other framework than the current framework we have to try and come up with a mandated government that will have a specific task. Now, I have tried to bring that about being as clear, as direct as possible, but I can't stand in place of the Lebanese president and other political leaders to do that for them. It is up to them to step up to the plate and act in the interests of the Lebanese people. On the other hand, you have the regional international partners. I don't know what what role it will play. Granted, there is tension coming from the Shia side, but is that because they are going to react to the Sunni and what the games that the Sunnis are playing? I have no evidence to back up one argument or another. Granted, when looking at the way the Americans react, we enacted differently, especially when we're dealing with the Sunni and Shia. So the idea is to try and work with the international support group so that all of the partners and all the ones that you quoted not including Iran, obviously, because I will be having bilateral discussions with Iran. All of the regional and international partners who are on our side will work to come up with a strategy and a long-term roadmap. For Lebanon, there is just one way forward. There aren't many. There's one with international support, and those people who believe in that international support and who are willing to implement the roadmap to get that. And then there's, I guess, a second way forward, and that's people who want to focus on, let's go for the worst. And that means that they are willing to fight against Hezbollah by sidelining them. And this is a way forward that I feel is irresponsible and is not the way forward. Because that is just going to continue down the current path that Lebanon is headed, and it will be sacrificing the Lebanese people, and I don't think we can do that. There are some people out there who feel that it is an enticing way forward because they're going to benefit from it. Either they or people closely related to them are going to benefit from that situation. But I think we need to avoid any form of escalation in the current climate. Hezbollah and all of the Shia people in Lebanon at the moment, they're faced with a decision they're going to have to make. Do they want to choose democracy and choose for Lebanon, or do they want to try and choose to go for the worst? I have stood up against those people who want to take that second path. But today, the way forward lies in the hands of the President and of Nabi Berri. It is up to them to try and speak with Hezbollah and the other parties to see whether they are going to fight for Lebanon and the future of the Lebanese people. But remember, it is the Lebanese men and women. They also can decide on the future of their country. And they can choose to fight for their country rather than fighting because of some tie that they may have with some foreign power. In the short term, it is up to Lebanese leaders, political leaders. I have had many meetings with people over the past few weeks, as you are all aware of. What I can say very clearly is that it is not France's failure. We did everything in our power to try and bring about a solution. So I will not take responsibility for the failure that we're currently facing. It is their responsibility. We came forward with a roadmap, and that roadmap is still very much viable, and it is now up to the Lebanese leading politicians to take responsibility for the future in the coming days and weeks.
We're going to take a question from Lebanon now. Good evening, Mr. President. I'm Zena Antonios from L'Orient Le Jour. You were faced with a betrayal from the political parties who did not keep their word after having committed to create this specially mandated government. And we are risking now to not benefit from the French initiative if we continue down this way. What could lead to the end of the French engagement in Lebanon these days?
As I said, the French initiative is continuing, and our commitment to the Lebanese people is still there. But what are we going to do to provide support, to help rebuild, to provide aid? Well, that role that we are going to fulfill is unconditional, and as has been shown by international partners, it is unconditional. We will provide aid to rebuild schools, the health system, to kickstart the local economy. And that money and material will be given to NGOs and the Lebanese people. But in terms of domestic politics, it is up to the domestic politicians, the Lebanese politicians, to take ownership of the future. Now, I don't want France's role in this to be misunderstood. Because when I say that we feel betrayal in terms of what was promised back in August, it is purely on a political level. And then, internationally speaking, we're going to create the International Support Group for Lebanon. of international partners who all agree to the roadmap, which will, and hopefully I will be able to bring all of the international community to that group. And maybe in a month or a month and a half's time, we'll be able to take stock of this situation of national and international progress. If nothing changes domestically, then we will have to think of a new way forward, a new phase. Because a specially mandated government with the roadmap, is that a viable solution? Or maybe we'll have to find something different, maybe a systemic change to the political structure of Lebanon. I think that all political parties are trying to change, but maybe the changes that we're looking for won't be in place by the time that we need to take stock in 6 to 8 weeks. I think that given the 1st of September's roadmap, there is still hope to progress with that. Obviously, if by 6 or 8 weeks things still haven't changed, then we'll need to take stock and move on to something new.
Mr. President, you asked people to ask you questions from Lebanon on Facebook. I've got some questions here on the future of Lebanon. The return to employment in the Golden Age, is it still possible in Lebanon?
Anything is possible. But unfortunately, with the current government and the current political parties, only the worst can be expected. From an economic point of view, the country needs to be rebuilt. It needs to have financial footing to be able to build on. Full employment and success of the Lebanese economy depends on the financial system, more than any other country in the region. And in fact, compared to any other country in the world, it is so unique to Lebanon. And because structurally speaking, the country has real deficit. And they need money coming into the country. And for that, they need to have a sound financial system in the country. And historically speaking, the golden age of the Lebanese model has proven that. But that very model today has collapsed. That model has collapsed. Why? Because there hasn't been reform. Because how did the Gold Age fail? It's because they didn't have the necessary political reform. So sector by sector, corruption came in. There was no reform. People were just living off the money that they were pulling out of it, but only a select few. And it was taken over by private interests. Those private interests linked to families and linked to political parties who are currently in power. And everyone's in there. Everyone has been affected. And bit by bit, every single sector of the Lebanese economy has been affected by this model. And that is what has destroyed local employment. And then because the model had to be moved forward, as things were slowing down, because there wasn't reform, because jobs weren't being created, there was less and less money coming in. Lebanese banks were seeing less money coming in, and these banks were just serving a few key private interests, and they were actually being misused. And actually, when you look at the deposit rates, those people who were depositing money in the banks, well, they were being able to draw their money out and get benefits off it. It was very much like a Ponzi scheme. And they had to attract financial input so that the financial system wouldn't collapse. And then 2019 came along. Controls and checks were put in place. And people wanted to seek retribution. They wanted to get their money out. Obviously, those with political interest, they were able to get agreements with the central bank, and those people who didn't have political support, they were found penniless, with not a cent in the bank. And that is where we ended up with. We ended up with the current financial system, the current banking system, and it affects both public and private banks and the administration. And that is why you need a specifically mandated government to change the system.
C'était simplement s'assurer que ce soit les mêmes qui restent aux
And
manettes.
that is what we
Pour
have
faire quoi?
seen in the
Pour
past
continuer
few
à sortir
in the
leur
past few
argent
weeks.
à eux,
Those people
au
in
Liban,
power, they have
et
just
aller
been
les
trying to
protéger
keep
ailleurs,
hold of that
puisque c'est la
power.
plupart du temps
And the
ce
reason
qu'ils
they
ont
don't want to
fait
lose
ces
power is
derniers
because
mois.
they know that will
C'est
lose
exactement
out on it.
ce qui s'est
That's
passé
what
et ce
happened in
qu'ils
the past few
veulent
weeks, and it's happened over the past few months and years.
Ça, c'est insoutenable. Et donc,
And
il n'y aura
it
pas
is
d'accord tant que ça
unbearable.
continue.
It cannot
Donc, la
continue.
solution
If we
qu'on
want to have a
propose,
new
c'est
golden
d'abord ce
era,
gouvernement
then
mission.
things will have to
Pourquoi
change.
faire?
So that
Faire les
specially,
réformes.
the specially
Faire tout ce
mandated
qui n'a pas
government
été
will
fait
bring
depuis
about
20 ans,
reform.
dans
Reform
l'énergie,
that has been so
le
direly
port, contre la
needed
corruption,
for the
pour les
past 20
marchés, pour que
years
les choses
to reform the
repartent.
port, to reform
Faire le bilan
the entire
le
economy.
de la Banque centrale
Also,
et des
to
banques
carry
privées.
out an audit of the central bank and private banking, to try and understand who is at fault,
Réussir à recréer un système
to
de
try and
confiance
recreate
et
a
le
trust-based system,
recapitaliser pour faire progressivement refonctionner les choses.
inject
En
money
même
back
temps
into
que
the
ces
system
réformes
to
seront
try and kickstart the economy.
initiées, c'est d'injecter une aide
So
internationale.
international
Le Liban
aid
ne
can
s'en
help kickstart the
sortira pas sans aide
economy.
internationale,
And without
qui sera
international aid,
massive,
the
et
Lebanese
dans un
economy won't be
système
able to
assaini
restart.
sur lequel on a de la confiance.
But
Et vous
also
comprenez
because
bien, parce que je vous décris très crûment ce qui s'est
But they
passé,
need that money.
que
And to be able to get that
personne
money,
ne
they need
remettra
a trust-based
l'argent
system because no one's going to bring money into the
tant que
country
ceux
unless there is
qui ont
trust.
mené à ce système crapuleux pendant des décennies
Unless
seront
the
là,
reforms
et
are
tant
brought
que
into place
le
to try and
système
get
sera
rid
tenu par les
of
mêmes
that
avec le
rotten
reste.
system that has been in place for the
C'est tout
past
simple.
few decades.
Et c'est
Really, it is
exactement la
quite
feuille de route
simple.
qui est la nôtre. Donc,
Reform the
l'âge d'or, il est possible
current
parce
situation
que le
so
Liban
that there is trust
est
for
un pays extraordinaire,
international
parce que les
funding.
Libanais
And that's in the
et les
roadmap,
Libanais
and that's the way forward.
ont ce talent,
And the
ont su
Lebanese
l'avoir,
people,
et que
the
c'est
men
un
and
pays
women,
ouvert,
have
stratégiquement
a
placé
talent.
de manière
It
unique,
is
et
an
donc il faut
open
faire
country,
confiance.
so
Mais
strategically
il a
placed
été
that it
étouffé
could benefit from that so greatly, but it has been
par
stifled.
quelques décideurs,
Stifled by a small
par
few,
des clans, depuis
by
les deux
clans,
ans. Les choses
people
s'accélèrent.
who had
C'est
the
ça qui doit
power.
cesser.
And
Au
it's
fond,
that system
soit
which needs to end.
il y a un sursaut de tous ceux qui ont fauté, mais qui se disent
And all of those people who are at
sinon ça
fault,
s'effondrera.
they're now nervous.
Soit il n'y a pas
And
de
they're trying to
sursaut
keep
et
hold of that
il
system.
y aura à ce moment-là des
But
chocs qui
without
viendront
a
de
sudden
l'extérieur ou
change,
de l'intérieur,
without
mais c'est un mensonge.
shocking the system, shaking the system to the
C'est
ground,
tout pour que ça n'arrive
then
pas.
things won't change. Now, I
Il faut
am
s'accompagner les
trying to
choses
avoid
qui adviennent, mais c'est
too much of a
évident
shock where
que
the system
le
will
peuple
completely
est épuisé
be
par ce
shattered to
système de
pieces.
corruption
But
et
we
maintenant de
need
terreur
to
avec la
fight
corruption.
against corruption. And obviously, terror has come on top of corruption. But unless we get rid of that system, then the situation will not change.
We have a question from Lebanon now.
Dans ce cas, la solution n'est-elle pas d'un gouvernement
So,
laïque?
wouldn't the solution be to have a secular government?
I can't be there
Les
to
canons, les règles,
create the rules
ni la
that
Constitution
govern
d'une
Lebanon.
part, ni les
I'm not
accords
one
qui
to
régissent les
decide
faisants politiques
on the
d'autre part,
Constitution,
ni les
nor the
Je pense qu'il y a des
rules
choses qu'on peut
that
changer. Et donc je pense
govern
que
the
le gouvernement de
parties.
mission n'est pas à
And I
proprement
think
parler un
the
gouvernement
specifically
laïque,
mandated government,
mais il
well,
va un
it's
peu dans
not
l'autre
necessarily
sens.
a
C'est-à-dire
secular
que c'est un
government, but
gouvernement où on dit
it is
l'ensemble
somewhat
des
in line with what you're
confessions
trying
sont
to
représentées,
say there.
mais ce ne
It
sont pas les
represents
partis
all
qui
of
désignent
the
leurs représentants,
parties of
ce
society,
ne sont pas en quelque sorte chaque clan qui va défendre
but
son
it's
intérêt
not
dans les
going
ministères. C'est
it's
pour
not
ça
going
que
to
je crois
represent
à cette
each
formule.
clan defending its own
Est-ce qu'on peut
ministry.
dire on a un
It is
gouvernement
somewhat
qui
different.
n'a aucun lien avec aucune confession,
Can you
etc.
have a government that has
Je
no
pense que le
link whatsoever to any form of
système est
religion?
incapable de le produire aujourd'hui.
No, I think the current system that
Faut
we
être
have,
très lucide, et je ne suis
it
pas sûr que
means
ce
that's
soit une
impossible.
solution par ailleurs.
Is it even a
C'est
solution?
trop tôt et c'est pas à moi d'en décider.
It's too early to say, and it's not
Je
even up
pense que,
to me
allant dans
to
ce
say
sens,
whether
la
it
seule
is
solution,
a viable
c'est
solution to
un
have
gouvernement de
a
mission qui
fully
respecte
secular
les équilibres,
government.
où chaque communauté est
What I'm
complète
saying is that currently we need a
représentée par des
specifically
dirigeants,
mandated government
mais où ces
to try and
dirigeants
bring
ne sont
forward
pas
the
les
roadmap.
otages de leur propre
Because we
pas
need
leur
to
position,
have
mais des propres
leaders
partis,
who
et
aren't
derrière les
hostages of
partis,
their own
de
party.
ceux qui ont fait
Given
l'argent
that,
durant ces
parties
dernières
behind those
années.
parties, you have all those people who have been profiting off the system for so many years.
A question from Marie Montes from Politico.
Bonsoir, Monsieur le Président.
Good evening, Mr. President.
Excusez-moi, j'ai 3 questions.
I'm sorry, I've got 3 questions. I'll try to be quick. You stated that political parties played into the hands of external forces. What external powers are you talking about? What role did Saudi Arabia play? You said that Hezbollah put in place a system of terror and that the parties are afraid today, but at the same time you expect them to be able to establish something new. Are you abandoning the Lebanese people to a system of terror today? And thirdly, we get the impression that your deadlines only push things further down the road. On the 1st of September, you said the deadline would be mid-October. Now you're saying from now on, we're talking about 4 to 6 weeks. Why wasn't the deadline just kept at mid-October?
Quite simply, mid-October was a deadline which is given, which would have enabled the government to have 15 days to form a government and then 1 month of normally functioning. And if they had formed a government as was planned, then we would have been able to go ahead with the conference. And that's why I said that in the next 20 days, that international support group is actually going to meet, and we will meet. But it won't be the same form of group, and it won't have the same impact as what I was hoping for back when I spoke in Beirut not too long ago. And it's because the Lebanese, they said that they would be able to form a government in a set amount of time, and they promised that to me. So when I set down my timeline, this is based on my meetings with all of the political leaders. When I was at the French embassy, I met with President Aoun. I met with the Prime Minister designate. And they all said, 15 days, that's all we need to get a government. So 15 days, 1 month to take stock of the situation, and then we could have a meeting. So I planned on their promises. Maybe I could say that what would happen if I just threw in the towel. You didn't uphold your end of the bargain. I throw in the towel, sort yourselves out, no more international aid, no more roadmap. If I were to do that, there would be civil war or a return of a government of just people who are going to benefit and profit from the situation. People who are just going to serve themselves, serve their own interests. That's what would happen. So I want to try and focus on this only viable solution forward. Now, obviously, I'm not going to try and make promises that I can't uphold, and I have thought greatly about this over the past 48 hours, and I want to keep pressure on Lebanon and the Lebanese government and politicians to try and come about to a solution. In terms of your question as to foreign powers intervening, I have no proof as to whether there is a foreign power who actually is trying to pull the strings in Lebanon. All I know is that there are foreign powers who are trying to destabilize Lebanon from abroad. And all I can say to them is that, what are they going to table given that there's no government in place? They're only going to try and further stabilize the country. And we can see when we look at Turkey, when we look at Saudi Arabia, they're working through other means, not political means. But I have no proof that any of these countries has actually done orders to the Lebanese political parties to act in one way or another. All I can base my understanding and my comments on is when you step aside and when you allow a country to act on its own, then you allow them to seek fulfillment. But if you try and intervene, then you can only do that when the current parties in power aren't serving their people well enough, and they're actually on the verge of serious crisis. Again, I just want to say that things won't change overnight. And the 15 past years have shown us that, progressively, things have fallen to the wayside. Things have been done, and I actually met with Hezbollah as a political party for the first time. Now, I don't want to say that a political solution is not a viable solution, because over the past few years and months, Hezbollah has gained power because they have played on this ambiguous role. They are both a militia, military force, and a political group. So I want to say to the Hezbollah representatives at Parliament, they need to be clearer as to what they are. You cannot be a political force in a democratically governed country and be an ungoverned militia. And you can't do that if you don't uphold your promises.
But didn't they clarify their position?
I would be acting irresponsibly if I were to tell you that they had. I would say that they have taken the path of the worst possible outcome. I don't think I would be acting responsibly if I were to say that as well, because we have a few weeks left, and in the coming few weeks, we will have a clear understanding as to what game they are actually playing. Obviously, I don't share in their ideologies. All I say is that they are there. They are a fact. It is because they represent a party that the Lebanese people, some of the Lebanese people, voted for. And it is a democratic choice, and I have to respect that choice. But there are other Lebanese men and women who let that happen. And they have been taken hostage of the Hezbollah party. And because of the situation that they're in, because of the current context, they have become hostages of Hezbollah. Now, I understand the risks for everyone at play, because we know what Lebanese politics has given us. But the risk that the Hezbollah party is running is one of vital importance.
Non, écoutez, on n'en est pas là. Là, c'est toujours pareil. J'assume ce choix parce qu'il est
stand by my choice because it is in line with my general policy, which is to respect countries' sovereignty. And as you've understood, I believe that sanctions and classifying someone as a terrorist, these are diplomatic instruments, which are actually quite American. And they have their limits, and we've seen this in many theaters of operations around the world. There's much more uncertainty in this strategy, and we see this when we're dealing with Russia, for example. And it's difficult to assess these policies too. And when you want to move a country forward, you'd have to deal with all the people who make up that country, and Hezbollah is part of the political makeup in Lebanon. A question that was asked many times at the French embassy, and it's been asked again today, is Hezbollah a true political party? Or is it just following a logic that is dictated by Iran and terrorist forces? I don't have any proof, so I'd like to believe that things will work, and I'd like to see in the next few weeks to see if we can work the situation out, and for the government to be able to commit to a specially mandated government. I'm not naive, but I'm saying that before we draw lessons from this, which will obviously have a serious impact, it would be good to finish this first stretch.
Good evening, Prime Minister. I'm from An-Nahar. Did you directly ask Iran to put pressure on its allies? And maybe that could help bring about a satisfactory outcome to the current situation. What could Iran play? What role could it play? And how could we come up with a new national pact in Lebanon?
The second question that was asked by your colleague earlier on, I think it was a bit in the same spirit. Perhaps we'll have to get to that eventually. It would be quite presumptuous of me to say that now, but of course it would. The situation is so critical on the social, economic, and security level that it's a bit early now to think about that, because it will take months. With the situation that is still unstable in the region, but maybe we'll have to go there. That is not the choice we've done now. The idea of having a specially mandated government is the idea of having a transition. And in my talks with Lebanon, I spoke to President Rouhani
échange durant lequel je lui ai exposé les termes, l'initiative.
And I explained to him the terms of our policies and what we wanted to do with regards to Lebanon. I did not ask him to intervene to put pressure on Hezbollah because I wanted to be coherent. I've always defended the idea that we need to preserve Lebanon from the power play in the area. I asked him not to interfere negatively in Lebanon.
Et tous les échanges que j'ai eus avec les voisins de la région,
and in all my exchanges with Lebanon's neighbors, I tried to explain our initiatives and ask them not to interfere in Lebanon that would block, that would create obstacles or make the situation even more fragile there. This week, I will contact our partners in order to prepare the meeting of the International Support Group and to be able to also discuss the issue with other regional partners, preparing for the second deadline in the end of October. The International Support Group will unfortunately not be able to welcome the Lebanese political forces without a government, but it will allow us to engage together and to be able to exchange with other regional partners who are not in the International Support Group. I will have to leave now, and thank you very much. I'd like to once again tell each and every one of you that we will be standing with the Lebanese people long term, and I will continue to work with them and to do everything that France can do for the Lebanese people and for Lebanon. Thank you very much.